So today I wanted to talk about The Witcher Season 2. It's been out for, I think, over a month now, or just about a month, and I watched it the week it came out, and I gave it a 6.5 out of 10, and the more I've thought about it, I think it may have gone up. But before I do that, I want you guys to subscribe to the channel, like this video if you enjoy it, if you find this entertaining at all. Comment down below what you guys thought about The Witcher, or just comment anything. Tell me I'm ugly, I don't care. All comments help the algorithm, so, you know, say something down there. It's fine with me. Share this video if you think that there's somebody that might like it, or if they won't like it. I don't care. Send it to somebody, that'd be awesome. And we have the new digital film reel podcast up. First episode is up. We're discussing the first 2 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett, and you guys can check that out. I'll probably drop down in the description so you guys can just click on that and go and listen to that podcast. Let's get into this. Okay, so starting out, I didn't not like this season. I enjoyed it a lot, but there was something about it that was just, it felt different. It felt different from season 1 in a way that I didn't like. Like, season 1 felt very unique. Like, there wasn't a lot of stuff on TV like it. Obviously, we had the different timelines going on, which, I mean, I think that was cool. I think I appreciated it that they dropped that. I like the idea of it when it comes to how the books are structured, because the first 2 books are a bunch of short stories, and this the first season was about a lot of those short stories, and I thought that was excellent in how that came about. In season 2, it's starting with the book of Blood of the Elves, and that is a more linear story that's telling one thing from one end of the book to the other without, like, you know, tons of smaller stories in it like the first 2 books. So already going off the bat, I knew it was going to be something different from season 1, and I was like, okay, I can get on board with this. But then again, I've gone through all the books, and Blood of the Elves is one of my least favorites. So I was already expecting to not like this one as much as season 1, because the story in it, you know, isn't my favorite. It's still good, but not as good as certain stories in season 1 or in those first 2 books. I have high hopes though, because the books from here on out they get really, really good. I think the future seasons, they're going to be great. So certain characters in this are changed from the books. I'm going to tell you right now, spoiler alert, because I don't know any way I could really, you know, talk about my criticisms of this show or even praises of this show without telling you what happens in it compared to the books and what happens in the books. So I'm going to give you guys a spoiler warning right now. So if you want, go and watch the 2nd season of The Witcher and come back to this, so that way you guys won't be spoiled by what I say here. First off, Yennefer. Yennefer's journey is very different from it was in the books, and they did this in season 1 as well. They gave her more backstory and they gave her more purpose. Like, I like Yennefer in the books, but she doesn't have much character development. She's there, and she does her job, and she is, you know, Geralt's lover and all kinds of stuff like that in the books, but we don't get to see a lot of her backstory, and I think that season 1 did a great job of doing that. We got to see her rising to power in Aretuza, and then becoming the person she is, and sacrificing something that she wanted so much for that power, and that is motherhood. Something about, you know, Yennefer, she just wants to be a mother so bad, but she also is almost like she wanted her power more than wanting to be a mother. And I think that was an amazing, like, you get to see where she makes the decision in a split second, like, yes, I'm going to take away my ability to have children for you know, to pay the price to be able to be beautiful and to have magic and be the most powerful sorceress ever, basically. And in season 1, you really get to see her struggling with that, where she regrets that decision, but at the same time she doesn't regret that decision, and it's hard for her. And then in season 2, you get to see her dealing with another issue, which is she loses her magic. And I've heard a lot of people saying that they don't like Yennefer as much in this season. And I think I liked her more in this season than I did in the other one, because it shows you how desperate she is, because she's lost basically everything. One, she and Geralt kind of went their separate ways, and then she fights off the Nilfgaardians at Sodden Hill and burns out, like literally burns out all of her magic, and she doesn't have any more chaos left, and she can't do it. And she's beautiful, but she lost her magic. And because she's beautiful, she lost her ability to have children, so she can no longer be a mother. And I think that is an amazing, complex character arc, and like a thing to put her through, where she's lost basically everything. And that's why we see her in season 2 almost give up Ciri to, I can't remember the witch's name. I know it's based off of Baba Yaga, so I'm going to refer to her as Baba Yaga. We get to see Yennefer about to bring Ciri to Baba Yaga. Through the whole season, we get to see this building up, and she's going to bring her there to sacrifice her, but then she obviously learns who Ciri is and who she is to Geralt, and she changes her mind, and she realizes that this is beyond her. This is beyond Yennefer's fight. This is beyond her selfish desire for more magic and for power, and this is something that she's willing to stake the one thing that she had left, her magic, the ability to get it back. She's willing to sacrifice that for Ciri, and that is, I love that, because it shows we're going to see more in the future where Ciri almost becomes a daughter to Yennefer. That's almost fulfilling Yennefer's like desire for a child, and it shows that she is willing to sacrifice her ability to have magic, to her ability, the one thing she was trying to get the entire season is her magic. She's been trying to get that back, and she realizes, no, this young girl here, I'm going to sacrifice everything I want for her. And that is the epitome of motherhood to me. Like, that's what makes an amazing mother, is a mother willing to sacrifice everything for their child. And that is just amazing, and is a great representation of a great mother and a great character. And that's why I think that was a great shift for Yennefer, and I am excited to see what they do with her in the future of the show, because they've expanded her character so much in the show beyond what the books had laid down. Like, these elements were in the books, but not as much. And in the books, she never loses her magic. She loses her sight. And it was a really cool shift to see the magic, because then we get to see that turn where she starts viewing Ciri as a daughter and sacrifices so much for her. And then moving on to Geralt. Geralt in this season, I honestly did not like him as much as in the first season, but I don't think this story is about him. This season isn't necessarily focused on Geralt, where the first season was. First season was about Geralt submitting to his destiny, which was Ciri. It was a whole story of him basically running away from it and fighting it. And in this one, he has submitted to it, and now he is going to protect Ciri at all costs. In the future, I'm not going to spoil it for you, those of you who have not read the books. In the future, we're going to see more consequences and more shifts on what happens in the story. I'm so excited for that. I think that's going to be fantastic. In this season, Geralt almost takes more of a back seat, because the book in this one is not about him. This is about Ciri. I think they did a good job in the show to show that. And it's really interesting to see Geralt, become that father to her, to protect her. And his whole deal is what a father should be, in my eyes, is protecting her at all costs, even laying down his own life for her. I think that's just fantastic, because we're going to be seeing more of him being the father figure to Ciri, and then Yennefer being the mother. And I think it's it's one of my favorite structures that I've seen in a lot of shows. And then obviously the books expand on that a bit more, and I really, really appreciate that and enjoy it. Talking about Ciri, so coming from the books, Ciri is like one of my favorite characters. I love Ciri in the book. She is fantastic. She just is like, she's very gritty, where she won't take anything from anyone. She'll get back up after she's hit, and I think they did an amazing job in season 2. Because in season 1, she's obviously running through the woods the whole time she's running around, and a scared child. And in this season, she says she's done. She's done running. It's just awesome. It's awesome to see her start growing into the book version of Ciri that I love so much. We get to see her on the gauntlets, running through all those obstacles, and every time she gets hit, she gets back up and does it again and again. And I just love that, like, that drive from the character of Ciri, and it is just so cool to see how well they have translated that into the show. And Vesemir was awesome to see, and all of the Witchers. I think that was my favorite bits of this season, was all of the stuff that was at Kaer Morhen. I thought just the look of it, the vibe, everything just was so cool. I feel like Kaer Morhen's going to be a very nostalgic set, especially for me, like rewatching this in the future, which I definitely will, especially as more seasons come out. I'm going to be rewatching a lot of this series because it's so enjoyable. I really enjoyed, the scenery in Kaer Morhen, and it just looked great. Something that did not look great to me was Geralt's hair. I don't know if you guys thought this or not, but something about it looked off from season 2. I don't know what was going on with it, but it looked weird at times. And also, I don't like his new armor. I know Henry Cavill designed it with the costume designers, so that way it would be flexible and he can maneuver in it and do the stunts in it, but I don't like it at all. It looks wrong to me. It looks very strange, but I mean, I might grow to like it in future seasons if he keeps that specific armor. Something else that I was not too much of a big fan of was a lot of the extra stuff that they added, like the stuff with the monoliths and the monsters coming in and then introducing the wild hunt a little bit. I think a lot of that is cool, and I think they're going to be building on a lot of that in the further seasons, but I don't recall any of that kind of stuff being in the books too much. So a lot of that's added storyline, and I know they added it because Blood of the Elves is kind of a action light book, so they had to add in some stuff that would kind of make it more exciting. And I don't know, I wasn't a big fan of the whole monolith story. I think it's a cool idea, and it's building up the lore of Ciri being what she is, but it's just, I wasn't too much of a fan of it. But I can see why they did it and what they're doing with it, but I just felt like that whole storyline was less interesting than other things that was going on in the show. Something else that I didn't touch on earlier was the sets. The sets in this season were really, really good. It really upped the scale of the show, especially seeing Kaer Morhen, the wide shots of it where we got to see the mountains and stuff. It really did a great job world building and making this world feel bigger than it actually was, and not like it's on a small set. A lot of season 1 felt like a set for a lot of it, not in a bad way, because it looked really cool, but like certain scenes, like say the one that's coming to mind is the Blaviken scene when Geralt takes out Renfri's men. A lot of that felt like a set, like it felt like there was a ceiling there and that was not an actual place. But a lot of this, it felt a lot bigger scale, and I really appreciated that, and I think it looked fantastic. Music. So the composer changed from season 1 to season 2. It is now the composer that did Shadow and Bone, I believe. He did some other stuff as well. I know he's a big name, but I'm sorry I don't remember his name. But season 1's music, I love that music. I've listened to the soundtrack I don't know how many times, and it is just so enjoyable. Season 2 takes it in a different direction. It keeps the same basic ideas behind the music, but it changes it. It changes it to a kind of a run-of-the-mill fantasy epic, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It sounds more like, you know, a Lord of the Rings would, or you know, a Narnia, or, you know, just something like that, and less unique, like in season 1. Season 1 had a very unique tone, very unique sound, and in this it builds off of that a little bit, but it sounds more orchestral and less made in a computer, which, I mean, I like some of it, but also I kind of miss a little bit more of the unique side to it. But I think that wraps it up. I overall really enjoyed this season. Before I gave it a 6.5 out of 10, I'm going to change that. I'm going to bring that up to at least a 7.3 for season 2 of The Witcher. If you guys want to subscribe, that would be awesome. I've got all kinds of other videos coming out, possibly more podcasts, all kinds of stuff like that. If you guys want to, click that notification bell so that way you guys are notified whenever any video goes up. Comment down below what you guys thought of The Witcher season 2 or even season 1. Anything you guys want to comment, go ahead, comment down there so that way it can help the algorithm. And if there's anything you guys want me to review, any movies, TV shows, or even short films, drop that down in the comments below and I'll try to check it out. You know, hit that like button so that way I know you guys are liking these videos, and share this to a friend. Maybe they will either like or dislike my opinions on The Witcher season 2. And if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at Digital Film Reel. The link should be in the description, and also Twitter. I've been trying to post some updates on Instagram on what I'm watching, what I am, like what I think about what I'm watching, and all kinds of stuff like that. You guys can follow me down there. So yeah, you guys have a good day, and au revoir.